Hey everybody, how's it going? So I got a few requests to go a little bit deeper about what my beliefs, specifically what I was talking about with Anubis. As I said a few times, if you've been following me, I don't have a titled religion. I have taken what I feel is true about most religions. I am very into past lives. I see a lot of my past lives. I've worked very hard restoring like bits and pieces of each life. I have a long history that comes back to me still. Like I still get tidbits about my past life, but I'm not going to get too much into that. But Anubis, if you know who Anubis is, there's a lot of different theories or stories. Sometimes people depict Anubis as evil or something demonic, and Anubis can be quite beastly and evil, but it's very much like the theory of being judged by a higher power. If your soul is good, if your soul is bad, Anubis knows this. Anubis is very much like a psychic medium in the sense of very much a part of your life while you are living, or that's what they believed in ancient Egypt. Anubis was the keeper of worlds, pretty much. He either took you to the afterlife or to the underworld, and there's a whole process when somebody dies in Egyptian culture. And as a psychic medium, working with other psychics as well, who like just sitting around putting our own pieces together and working with spirits individually on the other side, it makes a lot of sense to me what Anubis was and what Anubis did. I'm not getting hung up on religions or titles or cultures. I believe Anubis is one of my guides. Everybody puts titles and labels on things like Jesus. I just say Jesus because it's the most commonly titled, but in every sense of religion there has been a prophet of some kind that came down and taught mankind to be empathetic, to understand and be compassionate, and take us out of a really beastie, animalistic sense of human nature into what we are today. Well, we're going back to animalistic, but you feel me? Like, we were in a very dark place at the time of Jesus, or whatever you would like to call the person, the prophet, whatever word you want to call it. This person had a special mission. They came to earth to teach us, and this man or woman, whichever you want to believe, taught us. They were here as a great teacher from a higher realm who had a greater understanding, but was also one of us. And in learning our experience and how we feel things, bettered humankind for both while you're living and your journey to death. Because if you look at Christianity, even there's like purgatory, there's like all kinds of elements of, did they go to the gates? Did they see the light? There's always something that happens when you die before you get to something in some sense. And working with spirits on the other side, there is definitely a journey just as much as a journey in your life. Your death is a journey. How you die is the start of your journey. Death itself is an entire different chapter of a different element, and that can repeat. That's the part of your past life that you get to keep your time walking with Anubis. Picture like when you die, let's say you're in the woods at night and there's a trail just lit up with fairy lights. This is the trail that one way goes to the underworld, one way goes to the afterlife, and Anubis would be there as your guide. doesn't tell you in which direction you are going. You will figure that out when you get there. This is your journey, because some people start on their afterlife path in the wrong direction, but redeem themselves and get turned around, because everybody's journey is different in death, and that's what we are celebrating on the solstice. I know witches also celebrate the solstice. I'm not trashing that, and that's not what I'm talking about. I am celebrating the fact that, one, there is more beyond death, and it's okay to accept it, and that death is not an ending, it's a beginning, and the whole honor of what you can do on the other side in moments and seconds takes lifetimes for people to learn while they're living. It's just your soul. It's free of all the emotions that cloud us and cause us to sin, and like cause us to be bad versions of ourselves. We're free of that on this path. I don't really think it's a real path. I'm just helping you to understand what I believe. So, if Jesus, his birthday is December 25th, so in some point in history, somebody decided, and I concurred with it, that on the first day of winter, the darkest day of the year, we mourn a deep sacrifice, somebody who had to suffer great extremes to show us how animalistic and heartless we were, and that we needed to change, and that there was more, that it wasn't just life and death. That's Jesus's whole purpose, was death is not the end. What you do here matters, because you have a whole nother thing on the other side. And he started this process. He started the path for all of us. And it's a sad day, but it's also an honor, and to have the privilege to be able to redeem yourself one last time. The mercy of forgiveness, it just humbles you. Anubis's true purpose is like one of the hardest purposes for any spirit to maintain, like always being feared. When Anubis comes into your life, it's a very tragic and hard time for your soul. And sometimes Anubis is the last pleasant soul you'll see before the Hell's Gate closes on you. So Anubis gets a bad rap with humans as they live, but you learn to respect Anubis when you die. I have great and deep respect for what Anubis does. He's never understood, and he works harder than anyone. Think about all the people that die, and the people that are going down the birth path is also Anubis's job. I dug deep into Anubis culture. Babies coming out of a womb, being birthed, being sprung from womb to life is a journey, much like your path is to the afterlife is a journey, the start and the end. And you also return to a womb sometimes, so it's all interconnected. So Anubis is there for all of us before we ever meet our parents. And Anubis is appointed this job. It's not like we are to worship Anubis because you're supposed to worship the higher power, but you should have respect. Like you should have respect for the archangels, who are hand selected by God for different purposes to protect his most beloved humans and angels, you know? It's just a homage to the deep love the divine has for us, and how many chances they give us, and how much they have endured themselves. And we forget. We always say, why are you doing this to me, God? Why are you smiting me? But so many better souls that walk this earth were smited so much worse and never complained. And it's so humbling and so gracious, and it's just an honor for me leading up to his birthday, of this being who changed it all for us and protects me fiercely. And I have deep love and respect. So happy birthday, Jesus. And thank you, Anubis, and all of the archangels. Boing.